boyfriend comes home injured every day and he refuses to tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why.
What are you doing? Risking it all? By the way, this comes from TopNo9931. It's from the r/OK Storytime subreddit, so come on in, submit your stories there. I, 26 female, live with my boyfriend, 23 male, and he's the love of my life. I have never seen that acronym before. LOML.
LOML.
You've seen that before?
Naima says that all the time.
That's freaking
so
cute.
sweet.
Yeah.
He's always been honest with me about everything, but recently I feel like he's hiding something bad from me. Because for 2 months, every time he returns home after work, he's bruised and injured. Not like a small injury, but like visible injuries, like bruises, cuts on his abdomen and legs, bad injuries. The worst injury he had was 13 days ago. He came home at midnight and I was still awake doing some work, and his whole hair and face was messed up. He has a middle part and it was like some of it was cut off. He had a bad swelling in his cheekbone area. He also had a black eye. When I saw him, I was trying to ask him what the F happened to him, and he just said he didn't want to talk about it because the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
What is happening? The Tomlet says, is she dating Daredevil? Like, I'm very,
It's like,
very,
I have to protect the city.
I'm very, very genuinely worried for like what
I
is
think
happening.
He either is a masked vigilante or he is in a underground fight club. Both are cool.
I'm so lost.
Well, let me find you and lead you through the darkness because we got some more. I've tried to do anything to just get information from him, but he refuses to give me any. He keeps telling me not to worry about it. I've told him I'd also go to the police to report what's happening to him, but he's pleaded with me every time to not, or else he'd break up with me. I'm effing worried about him, and I feel like I can't do anything. He hasn't done anything to deserve any of this, and I've been trying to come up with anything, but I can't. He truly is a person who lives a simple life. He just cares about his city, the people.
I gotta protect them.
Justice! The only reason I've come up with is that my boyfriend is one of the few minorities in a very conservative city, but even then he has friends, connections, etc., access to weapons, and maybe a bat cave. No.
God, I thought that was relevant information.
So we do have some relevant, he does say he has access to connections. I don't know what that means. But relevant comments, we have some response from OP. We have an update, but John, what is your best gift?
I mean, honestly, I guess the Fight Club, someone said maybe he's a secret sub.
Ooh.
And that's why he doesn't want that, which would explain why the wife doesn't want to know about it. I am honestly, this is probably a byproduct of having read all these stories where partners have something like we've had so many crazy things happen. They do something crazy happens, and they won't explain themselves. I'm so tired. I'm like, just tell me or divorce.
Yeah,
that's where
exactly.
I'm at right now.
Yeah.
If you come home and you're literally physically injured all the time, and you like, I want to help.
Maybe he's got in with the wrong type of people. He doesn't want to endanger his wife because she might know too much.
I'm lost. I'm just so lost. I need to know.
He took a payday loan from some mobsters.
Dude, this isn't freaking 1920s Chicago. This is Reddit.
This is some crazy stuff happens on this website, John. Some crazy stuff that would make you tighten your sphincter so hard that you'd make a diamond.
I don't want to make my sphincter that tight.
You might not have a choice.
Oh, no.
So we have some relevant comments before we get into this update. So BrightAd306 says, I bet he owes someone money, which is kind of what we were saying. OP says, I really doubt that. He's never been the type of person to do something like that. And as far as I know, he isn't in any type of serious debt, as far as you know. Mercenary says, LMAO, then how the heck else is he getting so injured? Is he part of a fight club? What does OP do for work? And OP says, pediatric nursing. Planet Rose says, it sounds like he's an immigrant since you say his mom still lives in Vietnam. If he immigrated to the U.S. illegally, it would explain why he doesn't want to go to the police and how he might owe money to bad people despite being a hardworking person who is not involved in shady stuff. This is sheer speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't know what to do about it, but maybe an immigration lawyer would help. And OP responds, he was born in the U.S. His mom just moved back to Vietnam with the rest of his family to take care of them. He told me he lived with his grandfather, but he sadly passed passed away 2 years ago. We got one more relevant comment before we get into the update and unravel this secret. Ari8Na says, if you're close to his mom, brother, or sister, tell them. Maybe they'll help you out. To me, it seems like he's gotten himself into some bad business, and he's too ashamed to tell you about it. OP responds, he's an only child. His mom is also really hard to communicate with. I don't blame her, but she lives in Vietnam still, and she speaks basically no English. Going off of what I'm not sure she even knows what's going on in my boyfriend's life, living so far away. Basically, she doesn't know what's going on, but we do have an update where hopefully we find out the mystery. Should I get into it?
Let's do it. I will say quickly, I would do everything in my power to like try and figure out what's going on, but I see it as a frustrating experience for OP to be like totally in the dark. And I think probably at least attempting to try to reach out to the other family. I know they just said it's like, okay, it might be hard.
They might not know, but I think there is a chance that OP finds out the truth.
Worth it to try to help them, I would say, and trying to stay just to get to the point where you can help.
And also, like, I don't think OP's in a position where they're gonna let go because this is a llama.
It's a llama.
It's a llama. You can't just ditch a llama.
You can't do that.
No, that's ride or die.
That's how it works.
That's morning, noon, and night.
You ride the llama.
That's vigilante or regular person.
That's right.
Both egos, the alter and the reg ego.
When do you tell someone that you're a superhero?
First date. Same time you tell them about your exes and how many of them you have friends with.
Sam's rule for dating: immediately go through just a huge list of things that they might, break up with you for, and then if they pass.
Also, I would like to point out something before we get into this update. Okay, chat was so mad at me for talking about my exes beforehand, and then mad at me for not talking about it on the first date. What do you want, chat?
It's chat.
It's chat.
It's chat.
It's chat. I asked my boyfriend yesterday about what was really going on, and I threatened to rope in my family, the police, and even break up with him. I told him he was jeopardizing my own safety, and he had to tell me. After a lot of stalling, he eventually told me what it was. He's in a fight club.
You were freaking right.
I was not expecting that.
When you said that, I was so excited because I knew the end.
That's so sick.
I was expecting it to be like a totally, I was very, very, very genuinely worried, but it's a voluntary fight club, literally.
Dude, that's so cool. I want to join a fight club.
Well, you couldn't tell anyone about it, though.
Dude, I would.
You
would literally
tell everyone.
And you would come back next time and they'd be like, so we watched your show. We subscribed on YouTube.
And then they all gang up on me.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is what I wanted.
And then we'd have to go
then
like,
you come in immediately with a black eye and you're like, so at Fight Club.
Fight Club, yeah. So, oops. I didn't want to talk about it. All right.
oh.
Anyway, he's in a fight club. I guess the jokes were right. He's actually in a fight club like the movie. However, it's a bit more complicated than just that.
I'm intrigued.
He told me his family in Vietnam, specifically his mom, is pressuring him to give them more and more money, which is like a thing, like you send home money to your family. They have told him that if he doesn't give them enough, they'll cut contact with him. That sounds like a great mom. And even though we both have pretty good jobs, he was struggling to reach their demands, and he didn't want to ask me for money. He heard about the fight club from his friends, and at first he thought it wasn't any good. But he told me he was getting really stressed from his family situation, and getting hit would relieve some of it. And once he heard money was on the line, he decided to join. That's the reason he refused to say anything about it, because like the movie, he followed the first rule of Fight Club. That's also why he comes home sad. He's only using the Fight Club as a way to cope and earn some money on the side. That's also somewhat the reason he would plead me to not contact the police whenever I told him I would. Even though the actual fight club itself isn't illegal, a lot of illegal activities like drugs were being done in the fight club. I've talked to him about helping him with some money or therapy, but he told me he wants to deal with his issues himself. Yeah, men don't go to therapy. They get beat up by a bunch of other men.
This is maybe the most we usually joke, but this is literally like the joke come to life.
Yeah, dude, this I feel like this is what the stereotypical American male thinks that therapy looks like. Just a bunch of dudes getting together, hanging out, just punching the shit out of each other.
I feel like this is the stereotypical vision of that like classic American male that's just like, all right, let's just beat the crap out of each other, but we ain't telling them.
We don't need to talk about our feelings.
No, we need to
just gotta feel pain.
Yeah.
Make the outside match the inside. He told me he doesn't want me to stress myself out just to help him. So that's why he's going every day to just get the shit beat out of him and come home bloodied because he doesn't want you to worry.
Which is definitely not stressing her.
It's not.
at all.
Dude, why would coming home black and blue stress his honey boo?
Exactly.
For now, I'll stay off. But I told him I'll be helping myself by helping him if he's in a bad situation. So he's like, I'm going to fill my cup by helping you. But we do have some relevant comments and some answers from OP
Thank God.
about, like, I don't know, is this thing gonna stop?
What?
Is he gonna keep going to Fight Club? Is he gonna break his nose more?
Is he gonna stop the contact with his mom?
Yeah, these are all questions that we need to know.
That's true.
That will come to you next time. No, just kidding. Right now.
Right now.
So, relevant comments. Sufficient Pause 837 says, unless you're fine.
I'll make you shiver with Antissa.
Patient. Unless you're fine staying in a relationship with someone who is very likely to suffer from many concussions going forward, I recommend telling him to either cut off his family and stop fighting or leave him. CTE is no joke, and I'm fairly certain these underground fights don't have paramedics on standby in case of an injury. He's going down a path that he'll be lucky to walk away from with a massive, lasting physical and mental damage if he's lucky enough to walk away at all. OP responds, the worst thing is my boyfriend doesn't have any type of MMA background. He doesn't really know what he's doing. So he's just getting beat up.
He doesn't even know what he's doing.
Yeah. He's just like, he's trying his best. Yeah, like, there's other ways to fight, like joining an MMA gym. Like, you don't have to go to an underground fight club. I guess there's no money involved.
Yeah, I think it's the money.
That's true. You could like sell yourself on the street corner and
that's so sad.
Well, at least he wouldn't get beat up.
Oh, I just hate this.
That's a bad alternative.
I just absolutely.
Which one would you rather?
I was about to say
Would you
Sam's
rather-
golden rule. Instead of going to Fight Club,
Which one would you
just
rather?
become Roxanne.
Which one would you rather? Fight Club for money, where you get.
Fight Club.
Or you would only have to give handies.
No, Fight Club.
This is
Fight
bad.
Club.
This is bad.
Probably Fight Club. But I hate this so
Which one
much.
would you choose? Put your answers in the
Let
comments.
us know in the
answer that.
comments. Oh.
All right, we have one last relevant comment. Metal Hannah says, I know your boyfriend wants to do this for his family in the name of tradition, but he shouldn't do it at the expense of his safety. To defy the laws of tradition is crusade only of the brave. And OP responds, I told him that too, and he said he'd try, but it's going to be a while because he showed me just some of the payment he's giving to his family, and holy F, the amount he's giving could actually pay some of our bills.
I hate this. And that's it.
That's it. That's where it ends.
I am very firmly like, this is just me, but I'm like, if you're gonna go to this thing, I mean, I guess at least he eventually told her, but I'm like, okay, if you're literally wanting to do this for your family that's like demanding this much money, I totally understand a lot of firstborn siblings have the pressure and do acquiesce to like providing for the family, but this I think is a different level of that.
Well, because it's like the family doesn't really care. They're literally threatening to cut him off if he doesn't pay enough money. He's literally buying his family's affection.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just like, I could not stand being with someone like this that's like, I'm going to do this in order to pay the money to my I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where that ends.
I hate it. Leave him.
But we do got another story for you.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Except give me your phone.
Oh, right.
This is
Did
Fight
Riley
Club.
not give it? Did he take it back?
He was locked out for most of the time, but now he's locked in.
Here you go.
Here we go.
Also, the hot tub clip is popping off on Facebook right now.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
I love that. I'm very excited.
Many more hot tub streams to come.
I will not lie and say that I was not jelly. I was like, wow, that hot tub looks real warm and comforting. But soon. Soon you'll get a Sam and John hot tub. Hot tub stream. Ooh, that could be dangerous. But
dude, all of our videos, we move the curtains outside.
Dude, we build a studio around the hot tub. No.
That's what those like Twitch. There's like those Twitch streamers that literally put hot tubs in their apartments.
The true final level, we put a hot tub in here.
That reminds me of in college, there was the star football player, and he took this picture on Snapchat that got reposted everywhere. He got in trouble for it, but he had this hot tub that he blew up in his dorm, and there was a picture of him just with like these two girls in a hot tub in the middle of his living room in his dorm. He got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. When you say blew up, you mean like the inflatable ones, or
inflatable?
Okay.
Yeah, inflatable.
I was like, did he explode an entire hot tub?
So.
Wouldn't put it past the people.
I think he filled it from his sink too.
Respect. But respect this next story. Let's get into it. Here we go. My wife thought I was bluffing when I threatened divorce. Now she knows I'm serious. How? Let's find out. So for my story, I am not divorced, and all of this happened about a year ago. Okay. So me, 35 male, told my ex-wife, 35 female, that I would divorce her if she moved out, and she thought that I was bluffing. For some backstory leading up to this, I was with her for a total of 14 years and married for 12 of the 14 years. I am not saying our relationship was perfect. As any other relationship, there were hardships. There was never any cheating up to this point, or at least I hope, just normal life situations. But I always thought that we would deal with them together. By the way, this comes from Fillers88 on r/OK Storytime subreddit. You know what to do. If you want your stories read, drop them in there. So back in September of 2022, I was involved in a high-speed accident with a garbage truck. Oh my God. I fortunately wasn't severely injured from it, but I have been struggling with severe back pain to the point where it prevents me from working ever since. I did try to return to work. I am an HVAC tech, so like putting in air conditioning and stuff, which is like so tough for your work because you're literally like installing like heating and cooling units in homes and buildings.
Yeah, dude. I imagine that job like takes a lot of conditioning to get up to speed. I've been making these jokes all stream. You didn't hear the last one, but I did a ketchup joke and I looked at the camera and you didn't acknowledge it, but the chat saw.
I think my subconscious is now like pumping blockers into my brain. Oh man, it's the end of the stream day. So after 3 months later, I hadn't returned to work. It didn't go well. My doctor took me off and then started a very lengthy journey of trying to find me a treatment plan that will help me get back to work. Then in May 2023, I needed emergency surgery when my appendix ruptured. OP cannot catch a break. I woke her up to take me to the hospital and she gave me some attitude about it. She then decided to fix her hair and makeup before she left.
Dude, it's crazy that he just got hit by a garbage truck and then came home to a garbage truck.
Apparently.
Dude, he just can't stop hitting garbage all the time.
We need to put their relationship in this truck because it's garbage.
It's garbage. Get out of here.
After the surgery, the hospital wanted to keep me overnight for observation because they found an infection around my appendix.
No.
OP stay is not winning. I asked her if she could stay with me at the hospital and if she could take off a few days to help me with anything that I might need. She refused to do both. At the time, I didn't really think too much about it because I was too focused on everything that has been going on. Now, fast forward to June, she made a joke, or I thought, about how she back paid and now she can leave. So I, joking, said back, don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'm guessing like I've kind of paid out my dues of this relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm free to go.
Free to
like,
leave.
Have fun. Don't let the door hit you on where the good Lord split you. She snapped at me and said how she feels trapped and very stressed out. I acknowledge that she has the right to feel that way because of me being unable to work. Also to note, I applied for financial help for our mortgage and utilities, so she was able to pay all the bills after 2 weeks of pay. She then told me that she would spend the night with a friend from work to talk about her feelings. I said, go ahead. It will help us get past this. Then she told me that she was supposed to go out for dinner for her birthday with the girl from work, and she refused to spend it with me. The next day, I found out it was actually a guy that she was supposed to have dinner.
Oh! That garbage keeps on stacking.
Guys, please put some hearts in the comments for OP because
OP cannot catch a break.
My God, this poor man.
Also, I would just like to point out, like, if you get hit by a car, that sucks. You get hit by a truck, that trucks. If you get hit by, you know how big a garbage truck is? That thing is huge.
It is honestly a miracle that OP wasn't more severely injured.
Yeah. Honestly, it's insane.
And it seems like the wife's whole attitude is like, you're a burden.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it can be a lot. It can
be
be a lot.
Like, don't get me wrong. It can be a lot to take care of someone who is sick. But how long have they been together?
It's 14 years, married for 12.
14 years. Yeah, dude, that's like at least 3 cancers that you have to deal with.
I thought we were about to say 3 hall passes
No,
that are still in the mix.
No, but I feel like 14 years, like that is a deep enough relationship that you should be able to weather these kinds of things.
It is still a large
massive
task,
undertaking.
But having the like kind of seemingly immediate attitude of like, no, is not a vibe.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's never a vibe, but like it's more understandable. It's like, all right, like let's say you're 3 months in and then someone gets hit by a garbage truck. Like it's a lot to be like, I'm going to stay through this recovery. Like if you do, you're a saint. If you don't, like still an a-hole move. But more understandable. But 14 years,
14 years.
You're married, sickness and in health. Like, come on.
Unless it's a garbage truck.
Unless it's a garbage truck.
Or an appendix burst.
Yeah.
Read the fine print in your marriage contract,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
buddy? Now, we had a bad argument, and I went to my mom's house to cool down and try and figure things out. After a few hours, I went to go get some clothes and to go to a friend's house to clear my head and have some space. When she saw me do this, she went off on me and accused me of giving up on the marriage. Didn't you just go to your friend's house? I digress. We argued back and forth, but after a few days, I decided 14 years was too much time to let something like this end the marriage, We decided to try and work on us for at least 6 months before we made a decision. Only 4 weeks later, I found out that she has been looking for apartments the whole time. She then told me that her having her space could save us. I told her I don't understand how a year lease would save anything, and how does she expect me to pay bills since I am unable to work? I told her if she moves out, I will file for divorce, which like I'm almost more like, it's not even necessarily, I mean, obviously OP is very bothered by it, but it's almost not even the fact that she's wanting to live and have space apart. It's that she completely hid it the entire time and wasn't like, I need this space.
Yeah, if you're I think something that we've talked again and again and again and again on this show is literally like, if you are open about what's going on inside your head and open about things as soon as they happen, it's usually not as bad as if you wait. And this is an example of waiting making it more terrible.
Exactamundo. Now where was I? Sophia.
Only 4 weeks later.
I need a little notion circle.
Also, while John is finding his circle, I would like you guys to, I just want to acknowledge Riley. He is doing some tech stuff downstairs and absolutely crushing it. So put some computers in the chat for Riley.
Put some computers in the chat, and dare I say it, some computers love and appreciation for Riley in the general chat of Discord.
Yeah, just
so he can
tag
see
him.
it later.
Tag him and say, wow, you did such a good job at the light stream, Riley. I can't wait to see it in Paris.
Just blow him up.
Just
please,
blow him up.
with love and notifications.
With love, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. She found an apartment she liked and applied for it and was approved. At this time, too, the apartment wouldn't be ready for 2 weeks. During this time, I did something that I'm not proud of. I just feel uneasy about everything that is happening, and I had a suspicion that she was hiding something about why she wants to move out. So yes, I went through her Apple Watch, which first time I've ever seen snooping on the Apple Watch.
And I counted how many steps she had.
Yeah.
She was making a lot of steps, but her location didn't move.
Why is the cardio so high from midnight to 1 a.m.? So I went through her Apple Watch at the house while she was at work. I ended up finding out that she had been talking to some guy for at least 4 to 5 months. And when I looked at it, a text was sent from him to her saying she wanted him bad and when and where can they hook up. The smoking
Stinky lady.
The smoking Apple Watch.
The smoking, dude, Apple Watches, we've literally never heard of that. That's a first.
Just like,
He's like, I'm ashamed to admit it. I pulled her wrist over.
when I confronted her about this, she claimed that it was just a joke. In the famous words, it's just a prank, bro.
We have not said that in a while.
Guys, we practice so much restraint in not saying that for so long.
It's just a prank, bro. We said that so much.
It was like the catchphrase of this show.
Yeah, it was like what 2023 catchphrase probably.
Yeah, like early 2023. It was. Yeah. It was a prank, bro.
It was a prank,
It was
bro.
a movement.
That was a prank.
She said that it was just a joke, but when I said that that's messed up, she then said is because I'm not giving her any and she has to get it from somewhere. I thought it was a joke. She would turn me down every time I tried to initiate any intimacy with her for the last 4 to 5 months. August 2023, she moved into her apartment. 2 weeks later, I told her that I'm filing for a divorce, and she said that I was just bluffing about that.
Wait, you're having a full-blown affair. You're moving out. You're hooking up with this other guy. And she's like, oh, you're not going to divorce me.
You're just bluffing. It's a bluff. Go ahead. I'll call your bluffs. Yeah, do it.
Dude.
Go ahead.
That is crazy that if she actually thinks that, yeah.
Wow. Fortunately, with us not having any children, the divorce was very quick and finalized December of 2023. Wow, that's crazy that August to December is a quick and easy divorce.
I mean, some divorces can drag on for years.
That is true. There was a lot more gaslighting and other crazy stuff that happened. I wanted to tell my story and just say that no matter what you are going through, if someone is mistreating or taking advantage of you, don't be afraid to leave. No one deserves to be walked on and all over. Amen, brother. Quick edit. Oh, actually, just freaking kidding. Got you. We're going to stop right here because this is the final edit.
Oh, so there's some juice to squeeze.
This is after this edit.
There's some big juice.
So, I mean, is OP the a-hole here?
No,
not at all.
Get the frick out of this.
Is the wife the a-hole?
Yes,
absolutely.
Dump the dumper. Dump the dump truck. Dump that dump.
Dump that dump truck. And get a new truck with that dump truck.
Yeah.
You deserve OP. You deserve it.
You deserve.
You have been through hell and back.
You deserve a dumpy.
You deserve a big old dumpy, my dude. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else more to say than the path that OP's already on?
I don't know. It feels like his head is up. Head is up, King. What?
Waffle Pocket said maybe she's cheating with the truck driver.
That dude.
Hit him. Dude, honestly, I wouldn't put it past her at this point.
Babe, I'll give you a little extra something tonight if you run over my husband with your dump truck.
This is absolutely insane. Yeah.
I'm hoping that everything is chill with like the finalization of the divorce.
Yeah, honestly, maybe at this point it's like, can OP just successfully move on and just begin the process of rebuilding his life after being with her for 14 years? I mean,
which that is a long time.
That is a massive adjustment. Like just being used to being alone and
yeah.
After 14 years. Wow.
You can do it, OP.
Well, we have the edit. The final part of the story. So I now understand that the more details, the better. I was trying to avoid writing a small novel, but leaving details might seem shady sometimes. I would try to help out around the house as much as I could. I was able to do all the cooking and was able to sometimes do the laundry. I also would pack her lunch from any leftovers from dinner for the next day because, reminder, he had back pains from his injury and basically couldn't work anymore. So I guess that was his like, all right, I'll try to do this while you're kind of helping pay the bills. I am in no way saying that my ex is a horrible, heartless person, just someone who has made some horrible decisions and possibly listening to advice from the wrong people, which is that is grace, I would say.
That's too much grace.
It's a fair
get your grace out of here. That you're an a-hole for extending that much grace to yourself.
Let's get down to the gutter. The 2 weeks leading up to her moving out, we had a lot of fights, and I was being referred to as a broken person because of my injuries. And come on, I did help her move out mainly because she had no one else, and I felt that it could give me some sort of closure moving her belongings out. Mind you, helping her move her belongings while his back is still in pain. Guys, I mean, my goodness. The next few months was getting the paperwork for the divorce, dissolution with no children, to be accurate, properly filled out. The agreement was she keeps what's hers and I keep what's mine. Super simple. In October of 2023, she ended up in a car accident that totaled her car. What is happening?
The turntables have turned. Who's going to take care of you now?
Definitely not OP at this point.
Oh, yeah. You think your side piece that you were slamming all that time is going to take care of you? No.
You think you're going to get any more notifications on your Apple Watch?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Next time, find the real person who was watching out for you the whole time. See what time it is.
It's time for you to get hit by a dump truck,
Oh,
I guess.
Jesus. So she seemed to be okay. She didn't go to the hospital. She asked to borrow my car for work, but I said no. Then she said that I needed to take her back and forth to work.
I ain't your husband no more.
Right?
Do it yourself.
She's like, can I borrow your car? He's like, no. And she's like, I raise you. You drive me. He's like, oh, no, that's also worse.
Yeah. It's like, I'll only give you $100. How about $1,000? No. I also said no to this. Surprise, surprise. I told her that I would not be able to because of conflicting schedules with my physical therapy and my doctor visits for him to heal himself. She said that that's not her problem. So I got upset by that and told her that she isn't my problem anymore.
Yeah, wait, dude, how did she think that would go over? She's like, hey, can you help me with my problem? He's like, no, I got problems. So she's like, that's not my problem.
Sam, we're dealing with a classic Olympic gold medalist in mental gymnastics. Shout out to us being in Paris next week.
Oh, dude, is anyone going to be in Paris?
I don't even know.
Do we even
We
have?
probably lightly mentioned it.
Yeah.
Do we give them as a special end of episode / members only stream treat, share our plans?
We could, maybe after the story.
Maybe if you stick around to the end of the episode.
Then after that story.
The end of the episode. Now, there wasn't much communication after that until I saw her the day of the divorce, which was in December. There had been very little communication since, just mainly trying to get her to change her address. Now I just send her mail back to sender. As far as me and her go, there's nothing else to say. We don't talk to each other or see each other at all. Now, for people wondering how I am doing, physically, I have been getting better slowly. I just had a procedure that numbed the nerves in my lower back to help manage the pain. Oh my gosh, OP. Hopefully this will help me get back to somewhat normal activities in life. I am in a new relationship. When the new year started, I thought I would try go out on a few dates to see how things felt and just get out of the house. Nothing too special at first. No one-night stands. I'm just not interested in those. Obviously, most of them wanted someone who was in a better situation, and I understand why, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was weird to date again because it's been so long, and I did feel like I felt a connection with someone that I would be okay with in a new relationship. But after my first few dates, I was just going to focus on my recovery and other things after a few dates. My last date that I was going to go on, I ended up meeting a woman that was very accepting of everything that I went through and was going through. I enjoyed her company and hung out quite a bit over the next few weeks. I was completely honest with her about everything, and she found it refreshing and said that's what attracted her to me in the first place. We have been seeing each other since late January. I know it might have been too soon to date again, but I am happy and very hopeful for what the future might be. I am definitely more aware of things that I need to be concerned about, and I'm very persistent on being honest and open with her about everything, and she's doing the same with me. I'm sorry if I've written too much, but I'm trying to give as many details as I can. It's the end of this.
Wow.
What a freaking roller coaster just to read, and what a roller coaster to live.
Also, there had to be red flags before that moment, right?
14 years.
14 years, you never seen a red flag? Come on.
Had to be. I think maybe they both got like dependent on each other for, 14 years of and we don't know their age, but I'm kind of presuming maybe sometime in their 20s. Like you kind of known life as an adult probably with this person as your partner.
Yeah, dude. And I imagine it's hard to think of. I think why she was like, you're probably bluffing, but because they probably got married super young and maybe she couldn't imagine a life without him. And so she's thinking he's probably thinking the same.
Maybe like conspiracy theory / I see you in the comments. Put it in the comments before I say it. Tick, 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 tick. That's your chance. I think she had been kind of not manipulating, but like doing stuff like this the whole time in the relationship. And maybe this was the first time that the reality distortion field was broken. Maybe a big life-changing event like a major accident made him see that like, oh,
the light.
She's out here kind of using me in a way. Maybe that's not the right word for it, but
I think that's right.
And that's why she was comfortable. Like, oh, you're just gonna sit there and take it.
Well, I'm glad OP left.
Thank God.
But we're not going to leave right now because we have one more story.
Let's close it out, ladies and gentlemen.
Phone down, ET phone home. Let's work this last story.
Work it.
And finish this down. So, my girlfriend wants me to date her friend. Should I break up with her? Why not date them both? My girlfriend is bi, or as in gone bye-bye because you're going to break up, or bye. And primarily dated women before we met. We're getting serious and talking about getting married. We've dated for over 2 years, but recently she's been making a lot of poly jokes, and I'm not really into it. She has this friend that I get the feeling is just waiting for a hiccup in our relationship to make a move. She's bi and openly makes jokes about being spicy sleep with my girlfriend. By the way, this comes from Incognito Quito 666 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So submit your stories there. Back to the story. I've shared that I don't like it before, but she jokes that I'm gay for not being into it. Maybe I should just be into the experience. But honestly, this person just makes me uncomfortable too often. Besides that, she's just not my type spicy sleep-yoli. We had a long conversation about COVID, about what she wanted to be referred to, he/him. So I did. Wait, what?
I think, we had a long, like basically OP's partner is like, I want to use he and pronouns.
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
Oh, is that true?
Yes.
I think so.
I think
Oh.
read on.
Okay. 2 years later, he wanted to be referred to as they, them. So I did. Recently, she circled back to she, her, which is fine. But the whole time she dresses like a Kyle.
Not a Kyle.
Knocking back monster energies.
Yeah, Kyle.
I want to see a picture of this person.
Oh.
For those of you that are unfamiliar, a Kyle is a guy that wears Fox apparel, washes down a vape with a Monster Energy drink. She would be attractive, but it's like her idea of masculinity was formed from high school douchebags, not 30-year-old men. Anyway, Saturday, we go into a fight because we have some friends over. Kyle was the last one to leave. We'd all been drinking. I was in the kitchen putting away some food, and I see this a-hole put his hand on my girlfriend Kyle's ass.
No. Wait, I think Kyle is the friend.
Yes, this is very confusing. He said that she's dressing like a Kyle, and now that a new actual human Kyle has entered the chat and is grasping the cheeks.
No, I think that OP's just calling this friend Kyle.
Wait. Okay, wait. Really quick. This person conversation, we had a long conversation about COVID, about what she wanted to be referred to.
I think that's the friend, not the girlfriend.
At least
Okay.
a friend, right?
Okay, so here we go. So Kyle is not OP's girlfriend.
Yes, yeah,
Kyle is OP's girlfriend's friend.
correct.
Okay, comprehend. There was a dangling subject or there that it could have been referred to either OP's girlfriend or this new friend. Okay, I let her know right away, Kyle, that's the line, and you just crossed it. Stop. Don't touch her there. That's my private square. My girlfriend gives her classic, that's just how girls joke, and goes. They did a silly little dance twirl thing that ended with my girlfriend on Kyle's lap. I'd had enough and stepped into the room. My girlfriend doubled down and said that most guys would be dying to fool around with two women. I guess so. Maybe. I was blunt and said I was uninterested in sharing her with anyone. Kyle then said something like, maybe I could strap one on. Maybe you'd prefer a man. I was drunk. This a-hole had his hand on my girlfriend's waist and my girlfriend on her lap. I lost it. I don't remember what I said exactly. Something like, if you were a man, you would have been kicked out or knocked out already. This struck some kind of chord with her. She postured up like a gorilla, and it was a three-way shouting match. Not the three-way I imagine everyone was imagining. I don't know what was said exactly, but it ended with Kyle loudly proclaiming that she had to leave before someone got hurt. Here's the problem.
Did you flash to my gorilla posture? Yes. I was holding my gorilla posture and waiting for a
John
quick
was
pan over.
posing.
Gorilla.
All right, really quick, before we move on from the gorilla pose. Do you think OP was out of line for saying if you were a man, you would have been kicked out or knocked out already?
Yeah, shouldn't have said that, but I do think a certain level of maybe you need to get out right now. You're being so disrespectful. Like get the F out of here. Something like that, I think would have been better. Yeah, not the move to say that, but I do think that you can get really, because like this Kyle is not getting it.
This Kyle isn't getting it. But honestly, if I was in this situation, I don't think I would be mad at Kyle. I mean, I would be annoyed at Kyle, but I would be more mad at my girlfriend for allowing Kyle to be all like this. Like, it seems like the girlfriend's not like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. The girlfriend's like, you should be okay with this.
Totally. I think I would be equal mad that because the thing is, every time OP says something, Kyle then ups the ante. Yeah. Oh, you don't like this? How about 2x? Oh, you don't like that? How about 5x worse? Like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And I'm like, yo, get out of here. No.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
This is my house.
I could see being mad. I would probably be mad at Kyle, but I would be more mad at my girlfriend.
Fair enough.
Because I think she's allowing the behavior.
She's the one who's in the agreement.
Yeah.
In the relationship. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem. My girlfriend somehow thinks that I need to apologize. Me for threatening a person who came into my home, grabbed my girlfriend's booty cheeks, sat her down on her lap, and insinuated that I'd like to be booty effed by a man. She says that I needlessly introduced violence and forced Kyle to drive home intoxicated. I honestly can't fathom an apology, and I honestly don't care to have Kyle in our life anymore. I'm not typically the one to die on a hill, but I feel like anything short of digging my heels in is unacceptable. I told her I'd think about it. She's staying at a cousin's house for a few days. If it was just one night, I'd get it, but it's been several. Saturday was just the tipping point. But honestly, she acts like this is something she can get out of her system. I think she wants to be bi, and I think a lot of her friends are doing the poly thing. It's just not for me. I want one partnership with one person. All of her poly friends are in relationships, but they come and go. There's nothing concrete there. She claims to want kids. She claims to want commitment, but her actions say otherwise. And there is a thick, juicy update 1 day later, and it's thick.
Ooh.
It's juicy.
Oh,
and
it's an update.
And it's an update. But really quick, stopping right here, does OP owe an apology to Kyle?
Honestly, I'm leaning towards no right now. I don't think that OP should have said it. I don't know.
I would break up. I would break up.
Yeah, I would
so break up.
I would break up. That would be the first thing, because I'm like, you are so like the thing is, it seemed like, correct me if I'm wrong, OP made it pretty clear that he's like, hey, I don't want to.
They've had conversations about this before. This isn't an isolated incident. Because it's not an isolated incident, that's why the conversation has come up. OP's been very clear. I don't want a open relationship, anything like that. And she has just transgressed every boundary. This is the tipping point. I feel like if I was in this situation, I would break up.
And if OP's girlfriend was like, hey, if you're not down with this, understood, but I want to have a poly relationship, I want to leave, more power to you. Like, go ahead. But the fact, it almost felt like vindictive, the way that they were like getting together and kind of like upping the ante.
Don't like it one bit. Don't like it one bit. But we got a thick, juicy update to close us out. So, but we'll do a quick TLDR before we get into thick, juicy update. So, my girlfriend has a girlfriend that presents very masculine, and she makes spicy sleep jokes with. Saturday, she positioned a 3-way. I got upset, and her friend basically called me gay. So we almost fought. Now my girlfriend wants me to apologize. I don't want to apologize. I can maybe get over it if we agree not to see Kyle again. I don't want to scrub another long-term relationship, but is this even something you can work past? An edit, she claims she's coming by to pick up things for work. I feel like a conversation is unavoidable. I've taken what I want out of the competent suggestions here and applied the relevant context into the talking points I want to hit. I may update tomorrow, and here is that update. I'm just going to go off the bullet points of the conversation because I'm over it. She arrived yesterday with a peace offering from our favorite ice cream shop and wanted to set things aside so we could settle down and catch up on the new episode of How to Train Dragons. What's HOTD?
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. I told her that I was uncomfortable just eating ice cream and watching TV with the elephant in the room. Or the dragon. Another 3-way. I think that she could sense that I was in a different mood than she expected, and the talking points were as follows. I mentioned that I felt no need to apologize and referenced that Kyle had never apologized for disrespecting me in my home on other occasions, and that the average person would display hostility towards someone who acted the way Kyle acted. Her response was that she felt it was a first-time offense and that she had no idea I felt so strongly towards the jokes in the past. I cut her off and told her she wasn't listening to me if that was how she felt. She stated that I introduced violence and that's what I should be apologizing for. I stood my ground and said that any person who touches another person's spouse spicy sleepily in front of them without their consent should understand that they're going to provoke a reaction. Given that I actually have boxing experience, I showed restraint. Me and the old
Guns.
1-2.
Like, I actually went to a fight club.
Yeah, I could mess this Kyle up, but I don't want to talk about it.
I've seen a few Kyles in my day, but I keep that on the DL.
Keep that on the DL.
First
On a need-to-know
rule of hanging with
basis.
Kyles, you don't talk about Kyle.
You don't talk about Kyles. You just bury them deep in the desert, never to return. She made this weird point that because I have boxing experience, I should somehow be more careful about provoking violent situations because I know that a fight between Kyle and I is a mismatch, which I easily counter with the fact that I didn't provoke the situation, Kyle did, and my girlfriend not seeing that is a problem. She mentioned that it was reckless for me to kick out an intoxicated guest. I easily retorted with Uber effing exists. There's no reason to drive wasted in 2024. If she unalives intoxicated driving issue, it's because she was too cheap or silly to pay the $15 to get a ride there. I'd looked it up yesterday. Her stupidity is not my responsibility.
That was...
Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
Dang. OP's clapping back.
Ah.
I asked her if she'd slept with Kyle in the past. She said no. Maybe I'm biased and not to be trusted, but I believe her. I told her that it makes me super uncomfortable that she keeps pressuring me into having spicy sleep with someone I'm unattracted to. This is compounded by the fact that I've had to jump through hoops to make sure Kyle was comfortable with her sexuality over the years. This is the curveball I didn't expect. She claimed that Kyle actually likes me for that reason, that Kyle shows her affection like a schoolyard, that Kyle feels comfortable with both of us. My girl feels comfortable with Kyle, so the intention was to gauge my comfort level and proceed.
Stop.
Obviously, I brought up that I wasn't spicy sleepily attracted to Kyle in that way, and that she hadn't helped her cause by treating me the way she has that night or nights prior. My girlfriend reinstated that she was unaware that my feelings were as strong as they were because I didn't display emphasis or something. Essentially, she thought I shrugged it off in good humor. I stated that I'd like to start talking about what a breakup looks like. She was obviously so far from the idea that we were talking about a breakup, immediate waterworks, immediately incoherent, and apologetic. I brought up that I'm unsure if she actually believes in our shared goals of marriage, parenthood, and monogamy. There's more. There's a lot more. But really quick,
Yes.
how do we feel OP is moving through this?
I mean, I guess some crazy comments going on with about Kyle and Kyle driving home or whatever. But I guess other than that, like, I guess he is kind of like, okay, let's bring this item to the table. Let's discuss getting a breakup and talk through that and all of this stuff. I guess you could give him kudos in one sense of like trying to clearly communicate anything, but I'm kind of like, just be like, hey, this is why I want to leave and go. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I feel like you already have the information that you need to leave. It feels like you're drawing this out. Like I don't know why you're drawing this out. It seems like you already know what you need to do, but maybe OP is attached and needs to really talk all of this out to cement his belief that he needs to leave. You know, I don't think OP's doing terribly.
I think the way he's approaching the situation with his girlfriend is good.
Yeah.
I think he's like going off the deep end with Kyle because of his anger. But I think as far as him like kind of going through the process to break up.
And are you specifically talking about like, it's not my problem if he chooses
drives
to
wasted and, you know, things happen and all that stuff. I'm like,
well, I don't know if he said things happen. He just said
you say if he gets unalived in a car accident or something.
You did say that,
He did say that.
Yeah.
Wait, where did he say that? He mentioned it was right.
It was in one of the bullets, I think.
And if she, yeah, Yeah, but that was I feel like that was the one thing that was over the line. Everything else I feel like is par for the course.
I think the way that's like kind of like I'm kind of like putting almost Kyle aside. It's like the way that he's like kind of going through like, okay, let's like talk through this. I think it is maybe gracious of him as far as his girlfriend, but I just don't know that it's productive.
Yeah. But getting back, because we got more. She was in hysterics, but essentially couldn't believe that I would come to that conclusion based off one night. I reminded her that it was a pattern of behavior, not just one night. She then backpedaled and said that her polygamous behavior was part of her life she wanted to share with me before we were married. And she believed that she was presenting it in a way she thought would be appealing to me. I think she thinks I have corn brain, but I reminded her that I'd showed a lack of interest before and that, in my opinion, this wasn't the first time she's pitched fooling around with Kyle. She circled back to insisting the other times were jokes. I told her that if she believes that, she either wasn't listening to me or not taking me seriously. I brought up that it wasn't okay that they called me gay because I didn't want to engage with their ideas. I brought up the hypocritical nature of her friend group being so inclusive, but making fun of my sexuality when I didn't participate in their games. She was hyper apologetic and didn't understand that it was a problem until I framed it in, had the shoe been on the other foot, it would never be acceptable. And so we're going to do a TLDR before OP asks the final question of all of you. So I want to hear what y'all say. So TLDR, girlfriend went to work. I said I did too, but actually cashed in on a sick day to research changed locks and breakup logistics. We ended up agreeing to talk more tonight, but I don't know how I trust what she says. I'm worried that our past relationship will poison my judgment, so I'm trying to get as much ready to rip off the Band-Aid as I can. She sits firmly in the camp of not wanting to break up, which means she leaves it to me to do it. So, what do you think? Stay or nay?
Wow. It boils down to one major question.
Put your answers in the comments, in the chat below. Let us ask it of the live because we go live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. So if you want to come join the party, come into our lives on YouTube or Facebook. But what do you think? Leave or nah? John, what do you think?
One of the easiest not nays leaves in OK Storytime history.
Yeah.
It is like just so obvious that OP would voice his concerns like, hey, this is something I want. And like, we didn't hear about any of the other stuff, but one thing that was super clear to me in this story was that she was trying to pursue polyamorous relationship, and OP was like, I want a monogamous relationship. And that is something that he was being very direct about, especially in the final concluding conversations that they had. So it's like, this is just a mismatch. Why do you even, if you want a polyamorous relationship, that's totally fine, but OP's not the one. OP's not the one.
OP's not the one.
You got to figure out, what's a higher priority to you and go for that, I guess.
And it seems like the chat agrees. They, when asked stay or nay, 96% of chat said nay. For the stay, for the 4% that say stay. Why?
Plead your case
Plead
in the
your
comments
case
below.
Yeah, let us know if you believe that they should stay and
You
why.
believe in life after love.
But with that is the end of this episode.
That's it.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.